Thank you. Then let me make things perfect. I've got the line.
Hello, welcome to my show, Taxi Lady Confessions NYC. My name is Xiomara, and I'll be your driver for tonight. Ride with me as my passengers and I have the best time of our lives in my car. We ride all around the city and just kick it. If you're interested in knowing more about me, you could do so by clicking on the same channel 007 Xiomara and learning what else it is that I do besides drive. Go to Taxi Lady Confessions intro and it'll tell you some more about me. Meanwhile, let's ride.
Morehouse College. So yeah, it's in Atlanta. I'm currently living on campus.
Okay, awesome. Morehouse is an all-male school, and right across the street is what?
Spelman College, all-female school.
Awesome. And you were telling me that there's a large gay population down there in not only in Atlanta but specifically in Morehouse. Talk about that.
Right, definitely. So with Morehouse or Atlanta being kind of the black homosexual population, I guess in America, Morehouse definitely gets a lot of the gets a few of the homosexual brothers. All very capable, smart guys. Just a difference in lifestyle, which is really interesting because you have people from all over who have different kind of perceptions on homosexuality, and then coming to Morehouse where it's an all male institution, you were kind of stuck in between defining what exactly the 21st century black male is.
Wow.
It's like you definitely have all type of influence, of course, with the hip hop culture, and are black males gangsters? Are we define the stereotype? Are we kind of like the Farnsworth Bentley type guys? Dress up, wear suits or whatnot? And then you definitely have the homosexual population, which is definitely a different facet of life, which is
especially coming from where you're coming from, which is where?
Which is from Texas, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean,
what is your perspective on homosexuality across the board?
Well, I guess overall as a general, I can't necessarily say that I don't agree with it, but it's definitely something, being in Atlanta and being in Morehouse, I've definitely come to understand, and I mean, it's just a different just a different lifestyle.
Okay.
Now, I got 3 gentlemen in my car that I picked up on.
Gentlemen? 2 ladies and a man.
Man?
I'm the man. What's up?
No.
3 girls!
You gonna switch it up, right?
You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
These are my daughters.
Listen, if there's any single girls out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get it in. That nice pipe. You know what I'm saying?
Get it in.
Let me know.
Relations between black men particularly and black straight men and you guys, and what it's like to be undercover.
Insecurity. Intellectual questions.
No,
I mean,
thank you.
I feel mentally stimulated.
You know what's funny? Like not black gay women. Black women have such a disconnect with black gay men because they're so fearful that we're trying to take their man. We don't want their man. We don't want their man. We don't want anybody who doesn't want us. If your man comes to us, it's because your man has always wanted a man.
I'm not into DL, man.
Actually, like, no shade. Neither am I.
Sexual.
I need you to know who you are before you come to the table.
I'm barely into a gay man. Hell.
Really?
Yes, really.
You mentioned earlier the word taboo. You said where you came from that it's considered taboo in Texas.
Right. Definitely in Texas, it's definitely a taboo. It's, you're just not. Even if you are, you don't say anything about it or anything like that. And coming from Texas, being around so many homosexuals in Atlanta, it was really kind of like what's going on right now. Why is this so Why is it so freely expressed like this? And
Does it ever make you feel uncomfortable personally?
right. Well, personally, when I first got there, I was extremely uncomfortable with it all. I mean, it was like just seeing brothers, just kind of a little more flamboyant in their actions and in their clothing was just kind of like, whoa, like stop. But I mean, definitely being there for, it's my sophomore year. It's really, I mean, it's something you get used to. I mean, it's just the way it works. Just especially coming from, kind of being in a sheltered community. That's definitely not the way that the rest of the world, views, other people. I mean, from what I've understood in New York is, it's kind of like everyone's doing their own thing. You don't really have, people don't really care about other people's perceptions like that. Whereas like in Atlanta, or I guess maybe it's the Southern thing, it's people really care about, what do they think about me? What does he think about me? What does the media think about me?
Right.
So it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal, larger metropolitan, populaces.
From St. Louis, but I moved here from Atlanta, so that's a really good question. If you compare being gay in New York and being gay in Atlanta,
That was going to be my next question.
yeah, people,
That's good.
People in Atlanta aren't as open-minded as people in New York, but I could say a gay person in New York could go a lot further than someone who's openly gay and below the Bible Belt because of the closed-mindedness. But at the same time, I feel like it's about the same for me. All I can say is when I ride the train, there's less people looking at me if I'm wearing something a little
Different.
risky.
Right, risque.
Yeah, risque.
Risque.
Risque, racy.
But my thing is, this is New York. This is the capital
People
of the
mind their
entire
business.
universe. Like, really? If you can't do it in New York, where the fuck are you doing it?
That's true.
Thing of the don't ask, don't tell for the military personnel. Because that was always something like long time ago. I always wanted to go into the military. But was it don't ask, don't tell? And then a lot of soldiers got kicked out of that because they were gay. And then finally, it got to the point where it's okay to be who you are in the military. But now Mitt Romney, his whole thing is like, well, moving forward, we're gonna go back to like the old way. So I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think I want to hear what you could continue to flow. Because it's not about me.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why I would never join the military. I feel like if you can't be yourself and doing whatever it is that you do and serving for a country that you absolutely love and people don't appreciate you because of the way you are, then what's the point of doing it?
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Two things come to mind when I think of gays in the military.
What is that?
And particularly with men, maybe not so much as women, but I think this one's strength or the perception of one's strength is compromised, and that when you think of a gay man in the military, you don't particularly think of somebody very strong and masculine. We tend to think, when we think of gay, we tend to think of people who are very effeminate and flamboyant. Exactly. So straight men, straight black men, how do they act around you guys?
It depends. It depends if they're around their friends, if they're around their family. You'd be surprised. Like I know me and Janoche, we live in Bed-Stuy. And when we walk down the street, if they're by themselves,
they're different the way they act.
They're different the way they act if they're with their company. Because when you see them then with their company, after you've previously seen them alone, it's a very different atmosphere. It's very different.
Different effect.
Different effect.
See, that's why I don't live in the hood.
When we're in the military and we're, flaming, if you will, that kind of puts people off in an uncomfortable space,
I mean, but have you ever actually seen like a flaming gay male in the military snapping his fingers, putting his hands on his hips? Like, you probably never seen that. I think like gay men in the military are just like gay men on the street on the DL. It's kind of like the same thing, if you ask me.
And then the second thing that comes to mind is it necessary to disclose one's sexuality? For example, if I don't talk about my boyfriend, feel me? And it doesn't matter who I'm sleeping with. It's just a non-issue.
It is.
You know what I mean? I think that maybe gays, I don't know where I stand on the when it comes to disclosing your business. It's just, I don't know, it's like, why, if you don't ask, why tell?
I'm actually not from this country.
You're not from this country?
No.
Talk about it.
I'm Canadian. I'm from Canada. Came to visit my friend over here.
Awesome.
But I actually graduated from college last year.
Oh, congratulations. What did you matriculate in?
Leisure studies and health sciences.
Are you saying leisure?
Yes.
Leisure studies?
And health sciences, yes.
What does that entail?
Well, it's really a mixture of health science and, you know, anatomy. It's connected to sports.
Mm-hmm.
And why I did that mixture, I'm interested in recreational therapy for the elderly.
For the elderly?
Gerontology. I'm leaning towards gerontology to work with the elderly. So I'm interested in doing recreational therapy with them. Long-term care facilities, nursing homes. That's my direction. I love it.
That's so cute.
You love old people.
I like old people.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so admirable, because you know what, when young people don't think in terms of, you know, them getting old.
Right.
So for you to, you know, have that kind of heart, what prompted you to do that? What do you have, like an elderly parent or something like elderly grandparent or something?
I lived with my grandmother for a year, and I'm really interested in wow, I can't believe I'm forgetting the word now. Alzheimer's. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really interested in. It's just I had an internship at a long-term care facility. It's not what I expected at all.
Now, John Jay, what is it like going to school there?
It's cool. I mean, you get to meet people in your neighborhood. Like most people live in Brooklyn and Manhattan. I mean, I wish I would have went out of state, to be honest, instead of a city school.
Why?
Because people say you get a better experience.
Are you from the city?
Yes, I live here. I live in Spanish Harlem.
Okay, awesome.
But I chose justice studies because it's like a broad subject where you can either go into business, you can go into sports, you can go into entertainment. You can pretty much practice any kind of law when you do justice studies, because it just gives you a background on different kind of histories and any kind of law. And law has always been my interest.
Awesome.
I want to be a lawyer.
You want to be a lawyer?
Yes.
Good for you. Good for you. You know, we can never have a shortage of black lawyers, right?
Definitely.
What would you say to the black community at large, not just black women, but black community at large, when they say that you guys are a threat to us because of the issue of AIDS? Well, how would you answer that?
Wait, that's ignorance.
I would say everyone is a threat to themselves if they don't protect themselves.
No shade.
I would say it's ignorance. I think that HIV and AIDS has been a stigma put on gay men, but it did not start. First of all, it didn't start as a gay disease, and then secondly, you know, it's really one of those things that if you protect yourself, if you are aware, I just think that I think it's a scapegoat for you to try to blame an entire section in order to it goes back to the whole thing I was saying about insecurity.
We're in 2012.
If you're not sure about yourself, then you're gonna grab onto anything that you think is gonna help.
They taught the girls in health class to protect themselves.
We are in 2012. If you don't know at 2012 that if you're gonna meet someone and not know their status and have unprotected sex with them girl, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Because it's the same thing with if your man
regardless of what his background is, like if you're not setting yourself up.
When I tell you the other
But it's the same thing. But it's the same thing as a woman who with a man who is fucking other women.
I think it's this.
Like
in 2012, no. In 2012, everyone is HIV positive until proven innocent.
I know that's
no shade. Right. Automatic going to religion, assuming the person is positive, and protect yourself. Like seriously, and it should not come as a surprise to you that you find out the person you've been fucking for however long is positive.
But that's why I don't talk about sex. It's all just nasty and make me want to throw up.
You know, us being kind of like the Spell House, you know, Spellman Morehouse relationship. You know, they definitely pump the beautiful black love. You know, that's what they really pump into us, and you know, are just changing the perception of the black family.
Okay.
And you know, which is a really interesting topic, because you know, it's always in the media. You know, the black man is, you know, not really present, and that's true. You know, and I don't have innumerable amounts of friends who, you know, don't have a father present in their lives, and you know, and it seems to be, you know, it's too common, you know, and our black men, I mean, I think we're here, But I'll definitely say there aren't too many of us. You know, the numbers of us that are in college are, you know.
I've been
because I want to say something.
She's calling you.
She's calling you. That's your phone.
Bro.
All I would have to say is that it's the same thing as a man who's dating a woman.
Hello.
But having sex with several other women who they can have gonorrhea. They can have syphilis.
Bitch almost died.
Have gonorrhea. They can have syphilis. Have gonorrhea. They can have syphilis. Have gonorrhea. They can have syphilis. Have gonorrhea. They can have syphilis.
Bitch almost died. Bitch almost died.
When you think of black family, what do you think of?
You know, first thing I think of when I think of black family, I immediately think of, what is black love now? Which, what I think everyone is kind of, the picture that's emblazoned in their mind is like the Love Jones and, the brotherhood and, all the love stories that were the films in the 90s and, love and basketball. I think everyone really, wants that.